Your life is being shaped by the people you allow close to you. You may think your future is determined by your goals, your talent, or your hard work, but look carefully at your circle, because the people you spend the most time with are quietly influencing what you believe is possible. In this speech, you'll discover why choosing the right people can accelerate your growth, while choosing the wrong people can slowly destroy your ambition. Stay until the end, because one of the most important lessons is not about finding perfect friends. It is about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts better people into your life. The people around you are either adding fuel to your ambition or putting water on it. Learn how to recognize the difference between people who genuinely want you to grow and those who are comfortable keeping you where you are. Your standards are shaped by your environment. When you surround yourself with people who value discipline, learning, responsibility, and progress, your own expectations begin to rise. Build an environment where your better habits can survive. Not everyone deserves equal access to your time, energy, and attention. Learn why protecting your peace does not mean becoming arrogant or selfish. It means understanding that your time is limited and your future requires careful investment. Your circle should challenge you, not simply comfort you. Find people who tell you the truth, encourage your growth, and make you think bigger. The right relationships don't remove your struggles. They help you become stronger enough to handle them. Choosing your circle also means choosing who you will become. Instead of asking only, who do I want around me? Begin asking, who am I becoming because of the people around me? Your relationships are a reflection of your standards, and changing your circle may require changing yourself first. You may think your future is determined by your goals, your talent, or your hard work. But look carefully at your circle, because the people you spend the most time with are quietly influencing what you believe is possible. You can have a great dream, a strong plan, and a tremendous amount of potential, but if you constantly surround yourself with people who mock ambition, celebrate excuses, complain about everything, and refuse to grow, eventually their thinking begins to sound like your own. Not because you are weak, but because human beings naturally adapt to their environment. Listen carefully to the conversations happening around you. What do your friends talk about? What do they encourage? What do they laugh at? What do they consider normal? These questions reveal more about your future than you may realize. If everyone around you says that's impossible, eventually you may stop trying. But when you spend time with people who say, let's figure it out, something changes inside you. You begin looking for solutions instead of excuses. You begin expecting more from yourself. That doesn't mean you should abandon everyone who is struggling. It means you must understand the difference between someone who is struggling but determined to improve and someone who has decided that improvement is unnecessary. Choose people who challenge your thinking. Choose people who respect discipline. Choose people who keep their promises, take responsibility, pursue knowledge, and encourage you to become better. And remember this, you don't need 100 powerful relationships. Sometimes you only need a few good people who believe in growth and expect something meaningful from life. So examine your circle, not with judgment, but with honesty. Ask yourself, are these relationships helping me become the person I want to be? Because the people closest to you are not simply part of your present. They can become part of the person you become tomorrow. The people around you are either adding fuel to your ambition or putting water on it. Every person you spend time with has an influence, whether you recognize it or not. Some people make you believe that you can do more, become more, and accomplish more. Others slowly convince you that your dreams are unrealistic, your goals are too difficult, and your effort is not worth it. The challenge is that negative influence rarely arrives with a warning sign. It can sound like a joke. It can appear as casual criticism. It can hide behind phrases such as, "Why are you working so hard?" Or, "Just relax, everybody else is doing the same thing." One conversation may not change your life, but repeated conversations can change your standards. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. Do you feel energized or exhausted? Do you feel challenged or discouraged? Do you feel motivated to take action or tempted to make excuses? The right people don't necessarily make your life easier. Sometimes they make you uncomfortable because they expect more from you. They ask difficult questions. They tell you when you're wasting time. They remind you of your goals when you become distracted. That's valuable. You need people who will encourage your ambition without feeding your ego. You need people who can celebrate your victories but also tell you when you're making a mistake. You need relationships built on honesty, growth, responsibility, and mutual respect. But remember, you cannot always wait for someone else to bring that energy into your life. You must become that person first. If you want disciplined people around you, become more disciplined. If you want ambitious people around you, become more ambitious. If you want people who value learning, become a lifelong learner. Your circle often changes when your standards change, so protect your ambition, protect your attention, protect the beliefs that move you forward. You don't need to hate anyone or create unnecessary conflict. Simply become intentional about who receives your time, your trust, and your energy. Because when the right people surround you, your ambition doesn't have to fight for survival. It has an environment where it can grow. Your standards are shaped by your environment. You may believe that you are completely independent in the way you think, act, and make decisions, but look closely at the people and places surrounding you. Your environment is constantly teaching you what is normal. If everyone around you is late, you may eventually stop seeing punctuality as important. If everyone complains, complaining can become normal. If everyone avoids responsibility, excuses begin to sound reasonable. But the opposite is also true. When you spend time with people who value discipline, knowledge, health, honesty, and personal growth, those qualities begin to feel normal to you. This is why your environment matters so much. Imagine spending your days around people who wake up with purpose, keep their commitments, read, learn new skills, manage their money wisely, and constantly look for ways to improve. Their behavior becomes a silent lesson. You don't need them to give you a speech every morning. Their example teaches you. The goal isn't to copy someone else's life. The goal is to raise your own standards. Ask yourself, what does my current environment make easy? What does it make difficult? Does it encourage me to work toward my goals? Or does it constantly pull me toward distraction? Sometimes the biggest improvement you can make isn't changing your goal. It's changing what surrounds you while you pursue that goal. You may need fewer conversations that drain you and more conversations that challenge you. You may need fewer hours around people who only discuss problems and more hours with people who discuss possibilities. And understand this, changing your environment may feel uncomfortable at first. When your standards rise, some old habits and relationships may no longer fit. That doesn't mean you have become better than everyone else. It means you are becoming more intentional about the direction of your life. Your environment should not control you, but it should support you. Choose surroundings that make discipline easier, learning more exciting, responsibility more respected, and progress more natural. Because when you change what you consider normal, you begin changing what you believe is possible. Not everyone deserves equal access to your time, energy, and attention. One of the greatest mistakes you can make is believing that being a good person means being available to everyone. It doesn't. Your time is limited, your energy is limited, and your attention is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Every day, people are going to make demands on you. Some will need your help. Some will want your attention. Some will simply want you to listen to another complaint. And while helping others has value, you must learn the difference between being helpful and constantly allowing other people to consume the resources you need for your own growth. You cannot build a meaningful life if everyone has unlimited access to you. Think about your goals. If you have an important project to complete, a skill to learn, a family to care for, or a future to build, then your time must have priorities. You cannot give your best hours to distractions and expect your dreams to receive what is left over. This is why boundaries matter. A boundary doesn't mean you dislike someone. It means you understand what you can realistically give. Sometimes the most powerful word you can say is no. Not an angry no, not a disrespectful no, simply a clear no that protects something important. You also need to recognize relationships that repeatedly drain your confidence, encourage bad habits, or keep you trapped in negativity. You don't have to fight these people. You don't have to insult them. You don't have to prove anything to them. Sometimes you simply need to create distance. Your future deserves protection. Be generous with people, but don't be careless with your time. Be kind, but don't abandon your priorities. Listen to others, but don't let every opinion become your direction. The goal isn't to build a small circle because you think everyone else is unworthy. The goal is to build a purposeful life where your relationships support your values. When you learn to protect your time and energy, you create space for the people, habits, ideas, and opportunities that truly matter. And sometimes choosing your circle wisely begins with choosing what you will no longer allow into your life. Your circle should challenge you, not simply comfort you. There is a kind of friendship that makes you feel good for an hour, and there is another kind that can make you better for a lifetime. Learn the difference. It is easy to surround yourself with people who always agree with you. They tell you what you want to hear. They support every decision, excuse every mistake, and never challenge your thinking. It feels comfortable, but comfort isn't always progress. You need people who respect you enough to tell you the truth. The right person may look at your plans and say you can do better, may notice that you're wasting time. They may question a decision you've made. They may remind you of a promise you made to yourself. At first, you might not appreciate it, but later you may realize that their honesty was exactly what you needed. A strong circle doesn't simply celebrate your victories. It helps you prepare for them. Look for people who are growing, people who read, learn, work, build, reflect, and take responsibility. People who don't spend their entire lives blaming circumstances. People who understand that failure is not a permanent identity, but a lesson. And when you find these people, don't just ask what they can do for you. Ask what you can contribute to the relationship. Bring encouragement. Bring honesty. Bring your own commitment to growth. The best relationships are not built around competition. They are built around mutual improvement. Sometimes you need someone who sees potential in you before you see it yourself. Sometimes you need someone who refuses to let you settle for less than what you are capable of achieving. So don't choose friends only because they make you comfortable. Choose people who make you think. Choose people who make you examine your habits. Choose people whose example makes you want to raise your standards. Your circle should be a place where you can be accepted as you are while still being challenged to become better. Because the right people won't simply walk beside you. They will help you become stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and more capable of building the life you want. Choosing your circle also means choosing who you will become. This is one of the most important truths you can understand about relationships. The people around you are not merely companions for your present life. They can influence the direction of your future. So instead of asking only, who do I want around me? Ask a more powerful question. Who am I becoming because of the people around me? If you spend your time with people who constantly make excuses, you may become more comfortable with excuses. If you spend your time with people who avoid responsibility, you may become more tolerant of your own lack of responsibility. But if you spend your time with people who value discipline, learning, courage, and progress, those qualities begin to influence your own behavior. Your circle becomes a mirror. This doesn't mean every person in your life must be successful, wealthy, or highly accomplished. Success has many forms. What matters is the direction. Are they trying to become better? Are they willing to learn? Do they take responsibility for their choices? Do they encourage you to grow while allowing you to encourage them? You also have to accept that changing your circle may require changing yourself. You cannot demand better relationships while continuing to bring the same habits, attitudes, and standards into every relationship. If you want wise people around you, become more thoughtful. If you want disciplined people, develop discipline. If you want honest people, become honest even when the truth is uncomfortable. Your character influences the people you attract. And sometimes, growth will create distance between you and certain people. Don't automatically treat that distance as failure. People can appreciate each other and still move in different directions. You don't need anger to create distance. You need clarity. Protect the direction of your life. Choose relationships that support your values. Choose people who inspire you to work harder, think deeper, and live with greater purpose. And become that kind of person for others. Because your future isn't built only by the goals you write down. It is also built by the conversations you have, the examples you follow, and the people you repeatedly allow to influence you. Choose your circle wisely, because eventually your circle will help shape the person you become. Here is a strong, emotional conclusion that brings all 6 key ideas together. At the end of the day, choosing your circle wisely is not about becoming distant, arrogant, or believing you are better than anyone else. It is about understanding that your life is too valuable to leave your environment to chance. You have goals you haven't achieved yet. You have abilities you haven't fully developed. You have a future that still depends on the decisions you make today. And one of those decisions is deciding who gets to walk beside you. Pay attention to the people who inspire you to become better. Pay attention to the people who tell you the truth when you need to hear it. Pay attention to the people who respect your goals, encourage your discipline, and challenge you to think bigger. And just as importantly, pay attention to the person you are becoming. Don't spend your life waiting for the perfect circle. Become the kind of person you want to attract. Become disciplined. Become dependable. Become curious. Become someone who brings value into every relationship. You don't need hundreds of people. You need a few people who genuinely want to see you grow, and you need the courage to protect those relationships. There will be moments when choosing yourself means saying no. There will be moments when growth requires distance. There will be moments when you have to walk away from conversations, habits, and relationships that no longer support the direction you're going. Don't be afraid of that. Your future deserves your attention. So look at your circle today. Ask yourself one final question. Are the people around me helping me become the person I want to be? If the answer is yes, appreciate them, encourage them, grow with them. If the answer is no, don't respond with anger, respond with wisdom. Change your environment, raise your standards, change your own habits, because the people you choose today can influence the life you live tomorrow. Choose your circle wisely. Protect your vision, raise your standards, become better, and surround yourself with people who are committed to doing the same. Your future is too important to build it with the wrong company.